Say the COVID vaccine could be the best thing for you and your baby.
In terms of vaccinations, we now have over 53% of Georgians over the age of 12 fully vaccinated and over 64% with at least one dose.
Just moments ago, Governor Kemp and state health officials gave an update in the state's fight against COVID-19. Governor Kemp says Georgia has seen a decline in COVID cases and hospitalizations in the past few weeks. As you heard, he also said the vaccination rate for the state has increased, making a significant jump from just yesterday's data released by the Georgia Department of Public Health. But health officials are trying to clear up the confusion about the booster shots. 11 Alive's Mara Sirianni is at the state capitol with the latest on what health experts have to say. Mara.
Yeah, Governor Kemp delivering a lot of good news today. He mentioned that more than 53% of all Georgians are fully vaccinated, and his messaging has really stayed the same throughout much of this pandemic. He's still urging folks to go out and get the vaccine, but again, he said that he's not going to mandate them. He also went on to thank healthcare heroes, healthcare workers, nurses, and doctors for getting us through this latest surge in the pandemic. And Aisha, we mentioned those booster shots, a really big topic of discussion, of course, for the governor and also for Dr. Kathleen Toomey. She spoke about the boosters, and she emphasized that a booster is different than the second dose, I should say. Right now, the Pfizer booster shot is only available for people aged 65 and up, frontline workers, and those with underlying health conditions. And Toomey says we're still waiting on approvals for the other vaccines.
Right now, these boosters are just for people who have received Pfizer. And I know that's really of concern to people who have received J&J or who have received Moderna. That will be coming. We anticipate from CDC that the recommendations for boosters for the other vaccines will be coming in the coming weeks.
And there has been a real push from health officials with the CDC, especially for pregnant women, the messaging to go ahead and get the vaccine. Dr. Toomey also saying today that they are in that high-risk group, that high-risk population. So she's also urging pregnant women to get the booster shot if they can.
All right, Mara, thank you for that update. We know they have become a targeted demographic, wanting to keep them and those babies safe. Thank you for that update. The governor's latest coronavirus update comes as Georgia continues to see one of the highest rates of COVID-19 deaths in the country. Only 2 states have numbers higher than ours. That's Alabama and West Virginia. Right now, we're seeing about 139 lives lost every day. That is one of the highest averages the state has seen so far. In a handful of Georgia hospitals, ICU beds remain full, and the staff, they're just swamped by the constant wave of COVID-19 patients. A new NBC News report breaks down which hospitals have been at or above capacity for 4 months or longer. 6 Georgia hospitals made that list, and Grady Memorial Hospital in particular, that one really stands out as one of the top 20 most overrun in the country. Every single week for the past 12 months, Grady's ICU has been 100% full. Before the pandemic, it was full about 70% of the time. Earlier this month, they had to delay elective surgeries and procedures because they just have so many COVID patients. There is no room for anyone who is not seriously ill.
The amount of people in the ICU that we're seeing in this wave is quite frankly really high. It's something that is very astonishing how quickly people have gotten sick and ended up in the ICU.
The data still shows most of the COVID patients in the ICU are unvaccinated. Health experts say the shot is still your best line of defense. And new developments coming from the CDC. The agency has issued an alert for pregnant women, as Mara mentioned, urging them to go ahead and please get the vaccine. The new guidance from the agency comes after 161 pregnant women died from the virus. The CDC says 22 of those deaths were in August alone. So far, there has been more than 250,000 cases of COVID reported in pregnant women. The CDC says 22,000 of them were hospitalized. Less than a third of pregnant women across the nation have been vaccinated. The new notice is meant to strengthen the CDC's previous guidance that was issued last month when the agency first advised pregnant women to get the shot. Health experts say pregnancy is considered an underlying health condition. They say pregnant women are at risk for having complications from COVID. Most of these severe cases have occurred in those who are not vaccinated.